Big SEC guys here. We're back, and today we're talking about Joe's precious Alabama Crimson Tide. Joe, this is going to be a good one. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty high on the tide this year, Daniel.
I think this is a
Tide rolling.
good football team, Joe.
We're gonna have us a team this year, buddy.
I
We
like
have
it.
got we have got the pieces on defense to be very stout, and we will see. I do not think we will have the same catastrophe at quarterback as far as turnovers go. I mean, what Jalen Milroe could do was incredible when he did it well, but when he did it poorly, it was just as equally incredible.
It was malpractice when it wasn't going well. It was
It wasn't
college
going
football
well, it
malpractice.
really wasn't going well. So, I think a little bit more consistency there, just to jump right in, at
Right.
the quarterback position. Ty Simpson was named the starter coming
Tell us
after the
about him.
first scrimmage.
Tell us about him.
Um, don't have a real good answer yet on who's gonna be the backup. That's fine, I like that competition, I think if he went down that you would see both guys at some point in time. But, the real mechanism that's gonna make the offense work is gonna be our offensive line. A
Right.
little bit of shakeup to our starting offensive line because we've had, Jaden Roberts has been hurt during camp and has been, battling injuries. He's been in and out of concussion protocol.
Okay.
So, center Parker Brailsford, he's
Super
probably gonna
good.
be one of the first centers off the board this year. He'll be first team All SEC or second team All SEC, depending on Slaughter down in Florida. But they'll be neck and neck for the best center in the league.
Yep.
Cam Dewberry, coming over from Texas A&M, basically took that left guard job right out of the gate, and staff feels very comfortable with him. Looks like Gino Vandermark has had a very good camp, and is going to be sliding into that right guard. More than likely, him and Jaden Roberts will rotate when Jaden Roberts gets back. We did a lot of that last year, especially
Nice.
late in the season. But as long as Jaden's out, it'll be Vandermark's job. Caden Proctor, probably one of the first tackles off the board. He'll be a first round draft pick.
One of the best
You know,
left tackles in college.
obviously, all these draft picks when we're talking, folks, they all caveat to that the kids are healthy, right?
Yeah, sure.
That there's not some catastrophic injury, but he'll be early off the board. Probably first team All SEC. Probably some level of All American. And then Wilkin Fromby actually won the job um, last year coming out of camp, was a starter in the first 2 games, ended up getting replaced by Pritchett because he did struggle once we got into the games. But by the end of the season, Pritchett was not very good last year. We were constantly getting pressure off that side. Lost the Vanderbilt game on the strip sack that came from that edge.
Yeah.
Um, so, you know, he, he's got to that wasn't Fromby, by the way, that was Pritchett. Pritchett's now gone, he's, in Nebraska, doesn't look like he's gonna be the starter at Nebraska. I think it might be a message getting sent to him by Matt Rule. Always thought that was an interesting transfer, him going from Bama to, Nebraska. Matt Rule is a football guy, dude. He does not play around. He's not gonna tolerate laziness. So thought that was interesting. Enough about Pritchett, though. Fromby's a guy this year. They're very pleased with his progression, but we need to see it with the lights on. I think we will see it with the lights on. I think when we talked about our O line, I talked about how critical it was that Gino didn't have to move out to that right tackle position, and I don't. That was never even in the cards coming through camp. So, really big on the offensive line. There's a ton of talent, a ton of beef,
Nice.
um, and I expect it to be able to open holes for the running backs, and
Who's
our
the running
offense is
back gonna
very
be?
well. We're gonna get there in a second.
Okay.
The timing, yeah, we're gonna get there in a second. The offense is very much a timing oriented offense. You don't have to protect for long, but you do have to allow the quarterback to be able to step into his throw and hit it on schedule. So it'll be critical for those guys to play well. Running back, as you asked, Jam Miller had a fantastic camp, and then right here at the end, he's had a collarbone issue. and he's out. They're talking about maybe SEC play, so maybe we see him coming off that bye week in Athens. But you know that coming into that game, he ain't getting 20 something carries. Like
Yeah,
maybe he gets in and gets 8 touches that game. So I look for Richard Young to probably get the trot out there, but don't be surprised at all if you see Daniel Hill. And let me tell you something, buddy.
that's my guy.
First of all, Richard Young is a very, very capable and good back. Flashed beautifully in some cleanup time last year. He's got a really great spin move, really good feet, plant in the ground and go. I mean, he's physical. For his stature, gets behind his pads. I mean, he's over 200 pounds, and he's fast. I mean, he's a good back, and he may come out and just light the world on fire. And I think it's great. Daniel Hill is an absolute monster.
Big boy.
240, just a load of an animal, and they have raved about him in camp. Even before Jam got hurt, they were talking about how he had worked himself really into that 3 deep and was challenging to he was challenging Richard Young, um,
Nice.
for carries at that second running back position. So I would expect heavy dosage of both those guys. And then we brought this kid, Dre Washington. I can't remember where did he come from. He's a transfer. Maybe it was one of the Louisiana schools. Yeah, it was Louisiana. We brought him. Great back. I mean, ran for 500 yards last year. Well, 478 last year, 500 the year before. Um, this is why you bring in a kid like this. 5'9", 216, gets behind his pads. Um, Probably not the fastest cat out there, but he's shifty in his acceleration. Um, This is why you have a guy like him on the roster, right? Like, you
Yeah,
bring him in case one of your guys goes down, and you got to have a guy who can tote it,
good
step
depth
in.
piece. You gotta have 4 to 5 guys in the SEC, so you're exactly right. That's a great call
You
to
do,
bring in a guy
you
like
do,
that.
you do, because I mean, Jam's out without ever playing a game yet, right? And we're looking at game 4 and 5, probably game I mean, very similar to Rocket Sanders last year. How late in the season before Rocket looked like his normal self?
Yeah, good point.
South Carolina.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I hope that's not the case with Jam. I hope he comes back rip roaring and ready to go, but there's a good chance we're 7 games in before he's kicking ass. So, you gotta be able to run these guys through, and, I mean, there's nothing to say that one of these other guys, I hope doesn't happen, but you get a little banged up, and all of a sudden you're down. It happened to us in 20, in what was the year? 21 when we lost to Georgia. We had Brian Robinson, who was the back, and then we lost both freshmen it was Roydell Williams, who will be starting for Florida State on Saturday. And God, I watched so many of these guys over the years. Um, Jace McClellan. They
nice.
all run together, but Jace and Roydell came in the same year, and Jace was 2, Roydell was 3, and, Jace was having a great year, as that secondary, and really was the man. Our offense was clicking when he was that number 2 back, and he goes down. And then, like, 2 weeks later, Roydell goes down, and, and God, I hate that I'm gonna forget this cat's name. Trey Sanders, not gonna forget it. Trey Sanders was the number 1 running back in the country when he came out. He had an awful accident and really set his career back. I think he ended up transferring to TCU, and I don't know if it ever worked out, but he was the 14 guy coming off of that year where he had that really bad accident. He
Yeah,
was not ready physically yet for that kinda role, but he was forced into it. Probably, what 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 cost us the national championship that year was Jameson Williams and Mechie getting hurt in the SEC championship game, and then Jameson in the national title. We would have been much more competitive against Georgia in that game if we'd had at least Jameson, but if both those guys had played, we would have been much more competitive. However, those guys get hurt. We didn't have anybody else. Brian Robinson, we turn around handed the ball to. We didn't have anybody behind him. When you put Trey Sanders in there, he wasn't there. And so I say all this a roundabout way. I think I've taken 3 minutes to say it. It can happen. So you got to bring a guy like that in. That's why we got him.
yeah,
Um, you know, I I think we're set even with this setback at running back. And then when you look at our wide receiving core, it's
yeah.
just an abundance of riches.
I'm
The
in
3
love
guys out the
with the
gate
wide
are gonna be
receiver.
Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard, and Isaiah Horton, but right behind those guys, they have raved about Rico Scott. Before that, Latsier Brooks was turning heads left and right as a true freshman. He's been battling a little bit of injury. Rico Scott has been getting just rave reviews, and then Cole Adams was a starter last year. Well, starter, you know what I mean when I say a starter at wide receiver, right? Like
Sure.
you could count like 3 guys are listed on the depth chart, but you got 5 in a 5 wide situation. He played a lot of football before he got hurt last year. Very dependable hands. And then Jalen Mbakwe, Bach has made the move from DB to wide receiver. Jalen Hale had just a terrible injury that kept him out all year last year. It's good to have him back going. So just an abundance of riches at the wide receiver position. Tight end is a little bit of a question mark. Josh Cuevas is going to catch a lot of balls for us. He's going to catch a lot of balls for us. We will see, what we do as far as we brought in a couple transfers. They'll probably be seeing Danny Lewis Jr. is a big guy who can play on down on the line. It's gonna be a hodgepodge, honestly. Cuevas is probably the best receiving threat there, and he's probably gonna catch 20-25 passes this year, but it's gonna be a committee that gets it done in run blocking situations or
Nice.
or 2 tight end sets.
And Cuevas was solid last year, right? Didn't he have
Yeah, he was great. He was great, and truthfully, a guy who didn't get enough credit last year was CJ Dupree. We had 2 pretty good tight ends last year. Dupree was a guy from Maryland, transferred in, um, and that was his 2nd year in the system. Well, not in the system, his 2nd year on the team. He, anyhow, he had a great CJ Dupree took a lot Cuevas is gonna get a lot of not only his catches from last year, but a lot of CJ Dupree's catches. So, I would expect his production to go up, and I think I said this in the tight end video. I don't remember Cuevas. He had one bad and it could have been Dupree that had that bad kind of fumble/interception against Georgia inside the 5. I think it was Cuevas, it could have been Dupree, but other than that, I don't remember Cuevas having a ball that was thrown to him that was a drop after that.
Yeah,
He was
sure.
usually very open and had good hands.
Who's leading the team in receiving, Ryan Williams or Jeremy?
I mean, you gotta think Ryan Williams, right? You feed the stud, but it would not shock me one bit if Jeremy is the leader. Would not shock me at all if
They're both
teams are.
so good.
Yeah, it wouldn't shock me at all. Jeremy has a knack, he can find a way to get out. Of course, Ryan does too. It's tough. We weren't very good at delivering the football to those guys.
Yeah, Ryan's the big play guy. Jeremy had more catches than him last year, though. A lot of people
I
don't
know.
realize that.
I know, a lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people don't realize that. So, um
Walk us through the
flipping
deep.
to the defense,
Yeah.
this is the place to be excited.
Oh, yeah.
We are so deep on the defensive front. We are gonna be able to throw bodies at people, and throw multiple looks at people. Um, it's gonna be just an endless string of pressure coming at you from the front. So just real quick,
Defense looks
the
really
starters
good
on
on
the
paper.
inside. Yeah, oh, on paper listen, on paper, this defense is
Looks
one
really
that
good.
should be a record book defense. Now they
Yep.
gotta come out on Saturdays and execute, but on paper, this is a defense that should be one that's talked about for a
Love it.
while. The defensive tackles are gonna be Tim Keenan and James Smith. Uh, Tim Keenan was has been a great player now for 2 years leading into this one. I expect nothing less this year. He'll probably be one of the earlier tackles off the board. I don't know if he'll find his way into the first round, but he's an NFL guy. He's an NFL guy. It was a huge coup to get him back. James Smith, former 5-star, um, really came into his own at the end of last year. He's ready to anchor that starting position down. Uh, Jeremiah Beeman, Edric Hill, and then you've got, this transfer, I can't say his name, Mabawa or something, but we'll learn it soon enough, but those guys, when we're sitting here talking about getting into our 2nd and 3rd string, those cats are gonna play a lot of football. That's how deep they're all good enough to be taking snaps from the other. So, especially early in the season, to try to keep those legs fresh. You're gonna see a lot of players playing. LT Overton had the 2nd most pressures in the SEC last year and
He's
only made
so good.
and only had 3 sacks. Those numbers are gonna improve.
Oh, yeah.
He is set to just blow up this year. Russaw is, another guy, former 5-star. He flashed some big time plays, was a really, really solid player for us last year. Think he had a forced fumble in both the Georgia and the LSU games. Um, he's gonna be getting after it, but both those guys have guys behind them. Uh, Jamarian Latham is a guy who's got the size. He can actually in certain situations, he can play on the interior. Yanze Pierre, former 5-star guy who is going to you're gonna have to find a way to get him on the field. He's just that good. And then you've got, Kelby Collins is a transfer from Florida. He's from the state of Alabama. We wanted him out of high school. He went to Florida. We ended up getting him to transfer. Wasn't a huge producer down in Florida, but he's definitely got the talent. And right behind him, Keon Keeley set off just a panic in after I think it was scrimmage 1 because he put Fromby on his butt on 1 rep, and somebody came straight to the message board to talk about it. And so we were just in shambles about our offensive line. Couldn't
Double-edged
talk about
sword.
the fact
Yeah.
that our 3rd team guy is good enough to put a starter in the SEC on his rear end. It's just obviously the offensive line is gonna give up 100 sacks this year.
Those are the best,
And
when it's like the 3rd string defensive end got the better of the starter. "Oh, the offense is terrible. The defense is
you
great."
have to, it's like
Yeah.
1 rep, guys, 1 rep, but anyhow, so that's the front. That's a I mean, I did you keep count of how many names I just
Yeah.
listed?
That's a
All of those guys
lot
that
of
I
knowledge.
listed, it's not those none of those guys are up and coming players. Every one of those guys is gonna see meaningful snaps. It is gonna be a sea of crimson over and over and over again coming after people. I really expect our defensive line to wear people out by the second. Um,
It's a good point.
Linebackers, Deontay Lawson, he should be playing on Sundays. Terrible injury that set him back last year. The word is, I always forget our strength coach's name, but all the metrics that they're using to test, this is the best he's tested. So,
Nice.
from a numbers game, he's testing very well. It's gonna be more about confidence, having the confidence to go out there and trust his leg. Justin Jefferson, he's back. He is a heat-seeking missile. He's only about 215, 220, but the guy can flat out fly. He's a 4-5 linebacker, and, I think he's gonna make, this Constellation fella that plays, quarterback for Constellelis or the little guy running in his mouth.
The
I'm
guy who
kinda being
keeps running his mouth.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm being an asshole right now, but that kid is quick and fast, but I think Justin Jefferson's gonna be in his ear hole every time he tries to run,
Oh, yeah.
pull that ball and run. Would not shock me if he's the spy, and he's got the speed to do it. And then you've got the Hill Green cat that came over from Colorado who was, one of their, leading tacklers last year, and, so he can obviously play. He'll be heavy in rotation as well. Outside of those 3 guys, I don't know if anybody else is ready to play yet. That's gonna be interesting to see in some of our earlier games, if we're able to build a lead to see how those other linebackers look, because this is gonna be this if we ever get the chance to build depth, this would be a great year to do it at linebacker because we're basically losing everybody,
But you
that I
also
just
you don't wanna take Lawson and Jefferson off the field. You want those guys playing as many snaps as they can.
You want 'em playing as many snaps as you can until the game's out of hand, and then you got to get these
Yeah.
younger guys in there because we're losing all 3
Exactly
of the
right.
guys that are gonna be playing are gone this year. So, and then our secondary, again, it's just
Looks
an
really good.
embarrassment of riches. Damani Jackson, he's a
Dog,
senior, really
dog.
was strong for us last year. Probably gonna have a breakout year that finds him in the top 3 rounds, as a draft pick. Xavier Brown, true sophomore, played as a true freshman, started every game last year. Um, by the end of the year, he was locking people up. I mean, picked the ball that won the Georgia game. I think he had 2 or 3 picks during the season. He can shut you down. Damani can shut you down. Bray Hubbard was a surprise player for us last year. When Sab went down, he stepped in and it was the I'm not gonna say the defense got better because Keon is an excellent football player, and we definitely missed him. However, as Bray grew, all of a sudden you were looking at a budding superstar that's gonna be playing opposite of Keon this year, in what's gonna be a very, very stacked, and it gets deeper. I mean, we got Deshaun Jones was a transfer from Wake Forest. Um, we expected the transfer, and I forget his name, but the transfer, Cam Calhoun, from Utah to come in and take that Husky job, and Deshaun Jones has held him off, and it looks like they're gonna be rotating. But Cam Calhoun was a stud at Utah,
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
he's can't get into the starting lineup. Dre Kirkpatrick Jr., that's crazy to say because Dre was there when I was there, basically,
Is that his
and his
son?
son. Yeah, it's his
Oh
son.
my
Yeah,
gosh.
he's
Of
gonna
course it
and
is.
worse, it's his son and he's a sophomore.
Oh my gosh. Drake Kirkpatrick was at Alabama when, like, we were at Alabama,
That's what I'm saying. Dre
or
was a
we
freshman
when
in
you were at Alabama.
2009. My first senior year, he was a freshman. Um And, uh, and then you got Zay Mincy came in, and played a lot at safety later in the year, last year as well. Red Morgan played a bunch, and then, Dijon Lee, I'm not sure if there's a single player that's gotten more hype during camp this year than Dijon Lee. They're talking about him
Nice.
maybe being able to work into rotation with Damani and Zabian. Do you know how crazy that is? Both those guys are probably gonna be all SEC players, and
Yeah,
they're gonna have Dijon coming in because they can't keep him off the field.
that's wild.
It is a stacked defense that goes very deep. It will be very disappointing for all involved if it just folds and if it doesn't turn out because on paper, I mean, I'm starting to sweat. I'm so
Yeah.
excited about this defense.
And
Um,
Joe, my breakout defensive guy, this is a quasi breakout because he's, you know, good and has played a lot as a starter, but I think Damani Jackson is gonna be so good this year.
yeah,
I think
yes.
we're gonna be talking about him as, like, one of the best cover corners in
I
college.
I I think I very yes, yes. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. And you're talking about this freshman that might be trying to take snaps away from him. I
That's
mean, it
wild.
is insane.
That's
It is a
wild.
deep the defense is it's almost one of these things you're like, "Okay, is it this deep because maybe the top end isn't as good as we think it is,"
You can
But
only play 11 guys.
you
You
can
need
only play
more.
11 guys.
Maybe too many. Sounds like you've got,
So
like,
it's gonna be
really have
fun. It's a lot of
25
experience
guys.
back. Let me run you through the ages on these cats.
Yeah,
LT Overton is a senior, Keenan senior, James Smith junior, Rusall's redshirt sophomore, 3rd year in the program, Justin Jefferson senior, Deontay Lawson senior, Demani Jackson senior, Bray Hubbard junior, Keon Sabb junior, Xavier Brown sophomore, Deshaun Jones senior.
old experience.
Old and experienced, old and
Yeah.
experienced, lot of beef. So that's the roster. Um, I'm excited about very excited to watch this defense play. Um, I mean, I know my big games. I wanna see an outsiders. I feel like I've talked a bunch about here, and I haven't let you say so much. Why don't you look at the schedule? You find me, then circle the big games.
Well, I mean, the big games are obvious, right? So, the your 4th game of the season's at Georgia and Athens. That's gonna be college game day. That's probably a battle of 2 at that time, I'm gonna say 2 top 6 or 7 teams. I mean, that's an SEC championship caliber game. That's gonna be a good one. I I look at this Alabama football schedule, Joe, and, like, it's just based on your home and away splits, I like the way this sets up for y'all. The
It
2 tough
does.
the 2
It's a hard schedule, but
It's the plus.
the like you said, the splits, what we got at home is very beneficial where it was not last
Oh, yeah, like you said, it's a flip of last year, so it's more beneficial. I think the big 2 games I've got circled if I'm an Alabama fan is, like, we need to figure
year.
this out at Georgia, at South Carolina. Those
Yeah,
hard to play in Athens, hard to play in Columbia at Willie B. So those are my 2,
yeah.
the away ones.
Yeah, I've got for big games, I've got Georgia, Tennessee, LSU, and Oklahoma scheduled or circled. I have the South Carolina game is my trap game. It in Missouri are my 2 trap games. Um, and, it's hard not to circle Vanderbilt, right? Because Vanderbilt is gonna Vanderbilt is gonna give us all kinds of problems again on
Aren't they
offense.
gonna do it again? Are they
They're
going to do it
we're
again?
gonna be sitting here in the 3rd quarter, and I'm gonna be pulling my hair out. The difference this year is gonna be we're not going to turn the ball over catastrophically and spot
Yeah.
them 14 well, we spotted them 7. Well, we spotted them 14 right out of the gate. They went right down the field and scored on us, and then after that drive, our defense actually played pretty well, but we turned right back around and threw a pick 6 to go down 14 to nothing. So, um,
Not good.
I don't think that's how that's gonna play out this year, uh, but if you look at that schedule, you know, they're probably Bama's probably gonna have a little bit of juice in the tank for that Vanderbilt game,
Oh, yeah.
especially if we don't go to Athens and win, and we come out and spank them if we do. I don't think we will. I think they're still gonna give us fits. We're probably gonna win handily, but they're gonna give us fits. Um, Going to Columbia could just get a little tricky. Both Columbias, I mean, well, we'll
Tricky
see
place
when
to
we do
play.
it later. Both Columbias, but going up there to Missouri, I don't know how to read Missouri. I really don't, and it'll be really interesting to hear what you have to say when we do the Missouri episode.
They
I
always
don't
look
have a
bad
read
on
on.
paper, but they're always good. It's the same story year after year.
Yeah, yeah, I don't have a read on them. So
No.
so anyhow, those are what I've got circled. I've got a upper end of 11-1, best case 11-1 SEC title game, and a national championship contender. Um, I'm not going to predict a win on either of those, but this is a team that's good enough to win a national championship, win an SEC
Oh,
championship
yeah.
at 11-1.
What's your
Uh,
worst case?
At 9-3 again. I've got a bottom of 9-3, and it would be kind of a catastrophic 9-3 year.
We are 2 peas in a pod. I have on my notes here, worst case, this is my tightest spread in the, of all 16 SEC teams, this is my tightest spread. Worst case 9-3, best case 11-1, SEC champion, national champion.
It's gonna get real, real hot in Tuscaloosa if we don't
Yeah.
do if we
Okay.
don't go at least 10-2 and make the playoff, it's go there's gonna the run we are not well known for our rationality as a fan base. Um,
You wanna hear my Poppy's path to the playoff? This is gonna be my quickest one.
yeah, go ahead.
Lost to Georgia, win the rest. Poppy's path, 11-1, you're making the SEC, you're making the playoff.
Yeah. That's pretty right on. What do you wanna run through the schedule?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alright, at Florida State,
Big win.
I've gotta win too. Uh, UL Monroe got to win. Wisconsin, they're definitely gonna play us closer than last year.
What, you're taking
Um,
Bama over the UL Joe Monroes?
I'm taking them over my Louisiana Cajun kinfolk.
Disappointing.
Um, uh, I think Wisconsin will play us tougher than they played us last year, just
Give me
because they're
Bama.
not gonna forget that we went up there and what we did. However, I still don't think they've got enough to come into
I
this,
don't think Wisconsin's gonna be very good this year. Give me Bama.
and which is a shame because I really like their head coach. I hope they give him the time that he needs there, but right now they're in a tough, tough spot.
Not good.
So I got Wisconsin to win.
Me
At
too.
Georgia, I have us winning this game, but I fully understand if other
Tight one
people
for me.
don't, but I have us winning.
Coin flip for me.
Vanderbilt, I have us winning again.
Alabama.
Schematically, they will give us fits, but it won't be enough. But there's gonna be times in the game where I'm literally sitting there just doing this. Um, and it's just it literally is the type of offense they're gonna run against our defense. Schematically, it's a bad fit. And they're gonna put our guys into stressful situations where they use our aggressiveness and our over pursuit against us, just like they did last year.
Yeah.
However, we also did a lot of things on offense last year that did not help this time.
Shot yourself in the foot. Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
So I gotta win. Gotta win at Missouri. Gotta win at home against Tennessee.
Yep.
The loss on my schedule I have to make us 11-1 is going to South Carolina. I've got just terrible memories of going up there myself in 2010. This is gonna be my return trip to Columbia this year. I've already
Yeah.
told my son that I'm taking him,
Love it.
to the game. I think we're going live, SEC guys, big SEC
Big
guys,
SEC guys live from Columbia.
live from Columbia, so go ahead and get ready
Can't wait.
for that, and, but I just have I just have a terrible feeling. So, an aside, my bucket list in life, one of my things is I wanna watch the Tide win in every SEC state, and I'm well on my way right now,
Oh, cool.
but I have yet to watch us win in Columbia. Good friend of mine got married the last time we went up there in 2019, I think it was, and so I was in the wedding, I wasn't able to go, and so I have not been to Columbia since 2010, and there's a good chance that if we don't win this time, I won't be going to Columbia again for another 5 to 10 years.
Gonna be a while.
So, you know, and
Now's
then
the
who knows
time.
if we're gonna be any good then. So, a lot of pressure on me personally to get it done this year, but I do have that circled as my loss. That's
That's a
a
tricky
that's
one.
a, you know, that's the end of 5 go that's the 5th game in a 5-game stretch, and it's not that it's that difficult of a stretch, but starting it off at Georgia, if you're undefeated going in that Carolina game, the alarm bells ought to be going off
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
because that's you're sitting there at what? You're 7-0 going to Columbia, and this will be your 5th game in a row without an off. So
That's what
that's
happened
alarm
in
bells.
two
Any
thousand
thoughts on that?
2010. Didn't y'all win, like, 26 in a row or something, and then we just beat the brakes off you in Columbia?
Beat us bad. I mean, we made the score look closer than it actually was. The game was not close.
Yeah.
The game was not close.
It's tricky to go
Spurrier
into it's tricky to go into Williams-Brice and play. I mean, this Alabama team's really good, so I wouldn't be surprised if y'all came in and won, but it's just a tricky place to play, everybody knows that.
It's a tricky place to play. Now, if we go to Athens and lose, I don't feel as bad. I think we're probably better prepared when we go to Columbia and win
Yeah,
handily.
geared up,
But if
yep.
we're 7-0, it's gonna be that's a place where we might run in trouble. LSU at home, um,
Close
I
game.
don't think I don't think this is 2019 LSU. I think we find a way to win at home, even though they're in the back of their mind, they're gonna have that ass whooping we put on them last year down in Baton Rouge. They'll have the game circled. It's late enough in the year though to where we should know a lot about LSU. LSU has to play a lot of tough games before that.
And this LSU
They
team
very well might play themselves out of it at that.
yeah, that's a good point.
Um, and, then Oklahoma at home, I have this game circled, man. I
Into
this was an
Alabama.
unacceptable loss last year with what was on the line. People forget, like, we
Revenge
played
game.
ourselves out of the playoff that night. We were going to Atlanta.
Oh, yeah,
If we win that game, we're going to Atlanta.
and you got
And
blown out.
and and all of a sudden, we're sitting there. We played ourselves not only out of the playoffs in total, but we were in position to where, I mean, do we beat that Texas team? Maybe, maybe not. But if we do, we're sitting there. We've gone from out of the playoff to a bye, and I think we could have. I mean, it's Notre Dame, like we
Yeah,
damn sure beaten their ass here recently. So,
100%.
like,
And you
you
got
know,
blown out by Oklahoma, not good.
and it
Inexcusable.
was just I mean, so I've got that game circled, and I want us to put a mud stomp on their ass like we haven't done in a while to
Like it.
somebody. I want it to be ugly. Ugly. 31 to nothing, 31 to 3, but, like, pull the starters with 10 to go in the 3rd quarter, man, like, ugly.
Love
That's
it.
what I want to see.
Love
And
it.
then Eastern Illinois, taking the whole family for that. It'll be Sissy and Jack's first game in
Are you
Tuscaloosa.
actually?
Yep, yep.
Oh,
So we're
hilarious.
going we're
Go
going
watch
up there
them
for
win
that.
70 to nothing. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be great. It's late in the year. It should be nice and cool. Should be a day game, hopefully. Jesus, I hope it's not a night
It's
game.
the 2 p.m. game.
But it's what?
That's weird. They announced that one. It's the 2 p.m. game. I'm not sure why they chose to announce that one.
Perfect. Perfect. That's 1 PM
Beautiful.
Central Time. That's perfect.
Yep.
Could
Beautiful.
not could not have planned it better. So, we'll do that, and then, on the plains, Thanksgiving,
Auburn.
Weird stuff happens on the plains. Let's not go into Auburn having to win the game to go to the play.
Yeah, let's take
That
care
should
of
be the
business.
goal. That should be the goal because I guarantee you they'll be 4-7 and find a way to get to 5-7 and beat us and keep us out of the playoff if we get the chance.
They're gonna be
All the
fired up
time.
for that game, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it's the best thing they got going for them. So,
It's their
I've got
Super
us at
Bowl.
11-1, losing in Columbia. We could very easily lose in Athens and then flip that and win in Columbia. Um, you can find a second loss at 10-2.
Yeah, I've got 10 and 2, 11 and 1. One of
Who
those
was
coin
your other loss?
I'm leaning 11 and 1, but yeah, if it's 10 and 2, it's probably Georgia, South Carolina away. Take care of business at home.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see it.
Coin flip those 11 and 1. Feels probably more likely.
I would think that we would probably if we lose in Athens, I would think we probably win those next 4 games, but
Yeah,
then we very easily could lose one of LSU or Oklahoma at home, even though I don't want to. We could lose to either of those teams.
I like that, Joe. Any final thoughts? I'll tell you my final thoughts is defense wins championships, and this is a really good defense, and you've got a really good offensive line, and you've got really good receivers.
Yeah,
And
it's
you've got an
on
interesting
paper.
quarterback and
I
an interesting
really I really
running back.
don't want them reading the press clippings because we're starting to actually in some of the national media, we're actually starting to get a little bit more love I would like to have be hearing right. Um,
Yeah,
several SEC pundits have come out here recently and just like Josh Pate. I think Josh Pate has us winning the national title in one of his things. Um,
not surprised.
so, let's pump the brakes there on the press clippings. It's, I will say this team consistently, we've heard about it, and this goes back to the spring, only team in the SEC not to have any spring portal entries. We didn't have anybody leave in the spring portal.
Right.
Now we've had plenty leave up until that point, right? So, but coming out of spring, we've had our group from spring on. These are our guys, and consistently out of Tuscaloosa, you hear about the leadership on the team, mindset of the team, and very much more of it being a cohesive me here, team here, in that locker room, which is it's all preseason talk, but it's the type of preseason talk you like to hear coming out of your locker
Oh,
room.
definitely. Yeah.
When the emphasis is on the we and not the me, that's the kind of stuff that'll get you a little fired up and,
Oh, yeah.
get the blood pumping. So, 37 minutes, almost 38. I feel like
Like
we
it.
did pretty good. Yeah.
Like it. That's our Alabama preview, folks. Alabama fans, this is as good as it gets when we're talking about a college football preview here. Like and subscribe. We've earned
Like
it.
and subscribe. We don't say it enough. Like and subscribe. Follow throughout the year. You're gonna enjoy it.
Love it. All right, Joe. Great episode.
Good evening.